Hello, hello. Welcome to Notary Educators with Kimmi, your number one notary educator. Even if it's online, we service all 50 states, and we are here to help. What's up? What's up? I think I'm going to close the blind in the back to make it a little darker. So excuse me while I do that. Let's close this. We can make it a little brighter. Okay. There we go. Yes, make it a little brighter. We'll give YouTube a few minutes to notify everybody. We want to say hey to those watching live, those on the replay, and those that will catch the podcast. Give people a few minutes to get here. We're going to talk about ink fingerprinting today. I do have some tips for you on ink fingerprinting. It is, y'all know I always got a story. It's about a job that happened today. And I want to share these tips with you because if you're going to be doing ink fingerprinting, you need to know how to do it properly. Okay? Let's see. I wanted this little banner to go across like it usually does, but for some reason it's not doing what I want it to do. Hey everybody, welcome. Just a couple more seconds here. I'm going to talk about ink fingerprinting today. I'm going to give you some tips on that, how to do it correctly, what is it, how to add it to your business. We do have an ink fingerprinting course. It is 60% off. Coupon code is WIN, WIN 2025. And let's see. Hey, in grip. Hey, says, I thought you were going to be on yesterday. You said you had the other day, but you need rest. Hope all is well here in Texas, but did not get caught in that flood. Oh, yeah. My poor people in Texas. Yes. I've been watching the news, and unfortunately, I'm one of those people that become like obsessed. So it's not good. I'm like, oh, God, what can I do to help? And right now, they're saying, I guess donate is the best way. So just praying, that never hurts. Prayer never hurts. But I'm glad you were not affected by that. I'm glad. Well, let me go ahead and get started. And again, our thoughts and prayers are definitely with our Texas people. We have quite a few Texans in the group. And I want to go ahead and get started. So today we're talking about ink fingerprinting. So first, let me tell you my story, and then we'll talk about how to add it to your business, etc. Okay, ink fingerprinting if you're not already doing it. We don't have enough people here to ask. Yes, I'm just going to start because most people come in kind of late and then go back and watch it and do that. Okay, so that's what we're going to do now. So what happened today? So our client, we had an ink fingerprinting job. He actually called yesterday to make the appointment. And then he was coming so late that Jeffrey wasn't going to be here. I typically let him do the rolling of the ink fingerprinting. I know how to do it. I've done it plenty of times by myself. But if he's here, I just let him, that's his thing. So anyway, the client came today. He was supposed to come last night and he did not. And before the guy got here, I told Jeffrey, because our ink fingerprinting clients, and you will see this. Andrea, hey girlie. Good to see you. So if you know anything about ink fingerprinting, your clients are often very squirrely, okay? They're nervous of the ink, like it will not come off, and it does come off. We actually have wipes that we use, so the ink comes off. They don't have to worry about it staining anything. We try to keep it where they only, do one finger at a time until they have to do more. So I could, before they even get here, I always tell Jeffrey, hey, make sure you take control. I always say take control of the appointment, even in loan signings or anything you're doing. I always tell you to take control of the situation. If you're at the loan signing table, wherever you are. So in ink fingerprinting is no different. You have to take control of the appointment because the clients typically are nervous about getting ink on themselves. They're nervous about, they've never been fingerprinted before. They always have a running joke. Oh, this is my first time getting fingerprinted. So they're kind of nervous. He was even shaking a little bit, but it's really not that complicated. As I always say, and it's not that serious. It's serious where it needs to be correct, but not serious where they need to be shaking in their boots, right? So anyway, I told Jeffrey before the guy even got here, I said, make sure he stamps a nice firm print. Okay, make sure he presses the ink pad really hard. So the client gets here in his profession. I'm not going to say what it was just in case he's watching. You never know. But in his profession, you would think he sees a little bit of everything. So what you nervous about? Let's do this. So anyway, he's asking Jeffrey, well, is it okay if I just kind of use my middle of my finger instead of rolling the whole print? Can I just use the middle of the finger? And I was like, because he had a document that needed to be notarized also. So I'm doing the notarization. Jeffrey's doing the ink fingerprinting. So I hear the conversation. I don't say anything. I kind of stop what I'm doing though, and I look over. Okay. And I'm like, if that man don't roll that print correctly. So I kind of let them proceed because they did the first card correctly. He needed 2 cards completed. They did the first one correctly. So then they finish everything and Jeffrey comes over and shows me the last card. What happened with that card? Somebody tells me. Can somebody tell me what happened with the last card? Can somebody tell me? Just a guess. I know it could be anything, but what happened with the last card based on what I've told you about my client? Can anybody just guess what happened with the last card? I'll give you just a second. Can anybody guess what happened with the last card? Give you another second because I know you're typing. Okay? Or we're here, you may not even be able to type, but I'm going to tell you in just a second. So he brings over the last card for me to kind of just look it over, and half of the pinky is not on the card. Yes, thank you, Andrea. Yeah, he didn't run out of ink, but he didn't roll the last one correctly. It was half of the pinky on the card. So Jeffrey was like, and I looked at it too. I said, well, I guess it's okay, and we let it go. Okay, that wasn't my preference. I like my stuff to be correct. Okay, every fingerprint, everything, every signature when we're doing loan signs, whatever we're doing, I always want it done correctly. So we let it go because we weren't about to do that whole card over for that. And at this point, had I filled out the top part? I don't remember. But regardless, we were not getting ready to do all the prints over again because the client was already squirrely. So that's why you set the parameters. You set the expectation when you start rolling. And I don't even have to roll them. You don't have to touch the client. They can roll themselves. You tell them what to do. Sometimes we do a practice with them. We'll pull out a blank sheet of paper and let them practice. Okay? So when it comes to ink fingerprinting, I want to leave one more tip with you too. And the other tip is make sure you're on a super hard surface. Okay? If you're on something kind of shaky, your print is going to be shaky. If you're on something wobbly, that's how your print is going to look. Okay? So I don't do ink fingerprinting all day long in my business, but when my phone rings, I do know how to do it. And if you're not offering ink fingerprinting services, you probably want to check out my ink fingerprinting course, which is on sale. Coupon code is WIN2025. Okay. And in that course, I go over everything you need, how to start your ink fingerprinting business. All right. So I definitely want you to check that out. And again, if it's not something you're doing when your phone rings and you're like, I can't do it, you're going to say, dog, I wish I had took Kimmi's course. Or dog, I wish I had taught myself how to do it. So whichever your preference is, self-teach, it doesn't matter to me. But again, we do have a course on it. So the other day, I want to show y'all the inside of our new membership program, and it is amazing. I'm going to pull it up here and then I'm going to share my screen. So a lot of you, let me just tell you about the membership program, period, and then we'll get into, I'll show you what's inside of it. So we already had the membership going on. It's going amazing. Our community is helping each other. That chat runs 7 days a week. When I say that, I'm not exaggerating. Sometimes it's busier than others, but we have 4 people managing the chat. So your questions are always answered. If we don't know, then we'll get you to the appropriate person who can help you. But 99% of the time, one of the 4 of us have been through something and we can help you. Okay. Andrea says, just read my email about that. Congratulations. Just read my email about that. Congratulations. Okay. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Andrea. If you're even talking to me at all, I don't know. So let me know if you're talking to me or someone else. Okay.